Can you talk a little bit about, what got you into aviation? And
Well, I grew up. My father was an aviator, not commercial. He was general aviation, private pilot, and he built a pit special like this in the late '60s, and also a Volmer amphibian, which is a tractor-mounted high engine amphibian. So those airplanes he was building basically when I was born. So.
so
I
you were
spent a lot of
basically
time.
just born into this world, essentially.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with him, and I'm the older brother, so I spent a lot of time at the airport while my mom was looking after my younger brother, and so just been around the airports and been around aviation all my life. The fixing and the flying and everything that goes with it. Done fishing trips with my father and going to Oshkosh and these big aviation events.
And can you talk a little bit about when you first started flying, actually? Because from what I understand, basically, it's been your whole life.
Well, I spent a lot of time. I mean, there's really no. It's seamless. I've been flying all my life, whether it was, sitting beside my father as a co-pilot or eventually when I turned 15, I started doing, lessons with a proper instructor to get the formal aviation training and got my license as soon as I could. When I turned 16, I soloed, and when I turned 17, I got my proper pilot.
So you've been flying for
license.
how many years now?
Well, I'm 47 now, so
Okay.
yeah, a long time, 32 years.
32 years.
Yeah.
So, and can you talk a little bit about how many miles do you estimate? I mean, that you've probably flown in your life?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we just put something in my office the other day, which is an international or a world map to put all the international places that I've been. I've been across the U.S. so many times I couldn't count. Every state and every every corner of the lower 48. This year was my first year to fly to do an air show in Alaska, and that was really exciting. I hadn't flown through British Columbia or up to Alaska ever, so that was just a thrill to see the glaciers and these mountains that go to 14,000 feet from the surface, from sea level. Just an incredible journey. I mean, that was really one of my the highlights of aviation, was to take in all that scenery and enjoy that trip up there, and then to get to fly an air show and meet all the good folks up there. It was really a good time.
Yeah. So you do air shows. You do forest or firefighting via plane, right?
Yeah, aerial firefighting.
Aerial firefighting. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you got into that and what's that like?
Well, basically, the firefighting was it was kind of an on-demand thing. They needed pilots, and they needed pilots that had very good tailwheel skills, because these tankers, the single-engine air tankers, are tailwheel aircraft. So their gross weight is 16,000 pounds. So you can't. You've got to keep them straight, and flying a tailwheel takes a certain skill, and I kind of fit the bill. And then with low level and maneuvering and with all the experience that I had with the aerobatics, it really helped me to kind of fit into that whole role.
Now I'm going to kind of transition a little bit here and talk a little bit about the Make-A-Wish Foundation and how you found out about this, because you're originally from Florida or Texas, is that correct?
Yeah, Dallas. But I'm here firefighting, and my aircraft, like I said, came back from Alaska, and and I was contacted when I was sitting on the ramp about this event, and asked if I would participate. And of course, it worked out really conveniently for me, because the airplane's here, and it was a pleasure to be involved in such a great cause. So it's really something that I feel good about. I mean, I think that we're a very compassionate society, and this is just a great cause.
Do you have any personal ties to Make-A-Wish, or?
No, I really don't. My girlfriend is actually just 2 months pregnant, so I guess maybe.
Well, congratulations.
Maybe I have a soft spot there, but I mean, it's just anything to improve quality of life for somebody that's having a hard time. You got to do it.
Now, what's your other connection in Montana? I think you work for Ronan too, or?
Well, yeah, I work in Ronan for the. Okay. We have an aircraft that's on a national contract to do firefighting. So the BIA is is using that aircraft for controlling the wildfires. Luckily this year we haven't had too bad of a season, but there was 3 fires just last week that cropped up and started burning pretty fast, and we got them under control.
And what are some of the things that you have to do now? I understand that not very many people have enough bravery to go and do what you do. Is that correct, or?
Well, well, I guess both with the firefighting and with the aerobatics. I mean, my father never really wanted me to get into aerobatics because he lost a lot of friends, and without the proper training, it can be quite dangerous. This is a new generation though, and we have some great training, and I have a training aircraft as well to teach aerobatics and get people to do it safely and learn all the proper techniques. And the same thing goes with the firefighting. It's about a safety culture. And the thing that really impressed me with the firefighting is they're very, very safety oriented. We don't place our lives in danger to save a tree or a forest or anything. It's all about a safety culture is what keeps the pilot safe. Not putting the pressure on the pilot's shoulders to feel that he has to save the day by doing something that may not be safe. And I got to say that all the divisions of government, BIA, BLM, and forestry, they're all, very safety conscious, and it makes a big difference in what we do and how safely we can do it.
Now, I see a lot of kids today, flying these model planes and stuff. Can this be somewhat of a precursor to actually kind of learning some of the fundamentals of?
Absolutely. Some of my best students have come from an RC background. It's absolutely a great segue into aviation, and these events are also this event has a great cause with the Make-A-Wish, but the other thing that I feel really proud about with the air shows is to just motivate people, and both kids and adults, to kind of follow their dreams and get involved in technology, education, and I can honestly say I've been in aviation all my life, and I can't say that I've ever worked a day in my life. I mean, it's like when you do what you love to do and you're motivated with this technology and with what you're doing, it's not like work. So I think that there's a big motivation with the air shows and with the RC in getting kind of having the ultimate goal of people doing what they really enjoy to do, and then it's not really what they call work. It's the perfect situation, right?
Yep, definitely. Can you kind of talk about a little bit about your flight schedule? Like, what is that like during your work week?
Well, basically with the firefighting, we have a 100-day contract through the summer, and once that's over, then I go back to doing aircraft maintenance and air shows. I used to fly upwards of 20 to 22 air shows a year, and now it's less because of the firefighting, so probably about 10 or 12 shows a year. And I'm doing more and more now overseas. I have 2 aircraft that are in a shipping container, and they go over to Asia, and I fly shows over there, and they're really motivated to get technology, general aviation, into their system, because of course China, all their airspace was run and controlled by the military or the Air Force. So they're just now starting to look at having a general aviation sector and into production of aviation parts, aircraft. They're just way behind, so they're trying to motivate, and the air shows that we do over there is doing something for their technology culture, for their education, and to motivate people into that field of business.
Is there anything else that you would like to add that you feel I should know, or for the story?
No, I mean,
I could probably ask you 100 more questions.
Sure. No, I'm just really just happy that you guys get together and put on this event. I mean, it's really important, and it's a fun deal. There's lots of kids here that are participating, and I mean, that's what it's all about. Is just having fun, but also sharing the knowledge and letting the next generation kind of get involved safely and properly trained, and whether it's flying or whether it's RC or whether it's firefighting, it's just getting people to see what we do, and and enjoy and the fact that you can enjoy your work. It's great.
Now you're an instructor too. What are some of the things that you teach? New students or people that are new to this.
Well, mostly people come to me that are already pilots.
Already pilots.
Yeah. So what I do is transition training mostly, so that they can learn aerobatics and learn how to do it safely. Learn spin training, spinning left and right, and right side up and upside down, and just kind of getting the aircraft in unusual attitudes. So basically, we make the unusual attitudes usual. So when somebody sees it, it's not for
so you're
the first
kind of
time.
like physiologically adapted to
Yeah,
to all the twists and turns that you have
exactly.
to
So
do.
they know where to look and how to get orientation, and how to put corrective measures in to to fix the situation. If you're in a spin or if you're in an unusual attitude, you don't want to be lost. That's what caused a lot of accidents. So we do training to basically get people through that with an instructor, so that they can be safe on their own.
All right, and is there anything else that you would like to add? And what I have one more question. What's
Sure.
what's aerobatics like
Well, it's interesting because
from your perspective there?
well, we live in a 1G world, right? So I mean, we have gravity affecting us all the time, and when you're flying aerobatics, you're shifting that gravity right side up, upside down. You're going vertical up, vertical down. So you're really changing a lot of physiology, and it takes some getting used to, but it's like three-dimensional. I mean, it's like swimming in the ocean with tanks. You really are away from gravity. And aerobatics is something similar to that.
And how do you prevent yourself to be safe? What are some of the safety precautions you have to take? Because you have to be really, really conscientious of that.
Yeah, mostly it's just training, and staying hydrated, and that's actually something I need is a bottle of water. And just it's knowing where you are and staying in good physical condition is really important.
Anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.